Bliss, everyone. Bliss, and welcome to a brand new weekly reading right here on YouTube. Rissa Vibes here, aka Readings by Rissa, and I am a professional intuitive channel, cosmic medium, and intuitive development coach. And I help spiritually curious people activate their intuitive luminary gifts and manifest greatness. I am here for you to dive right into this week's messages. These are the messages that I receive in downloads through all of my intuitive gifts, visions, dreams, premonitions, and so forth. So I am super excited to share with you all that I have received from Spirit about this week's energy so that we can navigate this week's energy with the utmost grace and just control and peace and connection to ourselves. So as you join here, if it is your first time, welcome and thank you for joining. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and like and comment as you hear things that resonate with you throughout this reading. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Good to see you, Soul Tribe. I'm super excited to be with you again on another beautiful Sunday. I really felt super called to, just kind of be really present this week and start to do a little deeper dives in reflection of self and just reflection of life. And I really took a moment, even today, to just really appreciate this community and all the ways that we've grown together and continue to grow together in our spiritual journey. So thank you, everybody who has continued to join in on these weekly readings and continue to support this content as I grow and as we grow together. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go ahead and get into a quick review of last week's cards. Last week in the beginning of the week, we pulled the Serenity card. Serenity giving us this focus on prioritizing peace and allowing us to really figure out what brings us peace, what brings us serenity. Then in the middle of the week, we had the Love card, which was really helping us to open our heart and become more aware of the love relationships that we have in our lives. We had a lot of Venus energy last week as well, just really kind of influencing so much of our experience. So lots of love energy in general, even some things, tensions in love to reveal some awareness that was needed as well. So really important. And then the end of the week, last week, we pulled the Metamorphosis card, which was all about transformation and emerging into our, fully evolved and luminous selves. And we are really kind of riding the high of that energy as we continue to move into this week. We also pulled the High Priestess card last week for the new moon in Aries, which was really beautiful to celebrate. Lots of fire and passion and drive to move forward. And that High Priestess card letting us know that as we move forward towards our spiritual goals, our intuitive goals, and we use our intuition to help us move forward, we will become most successful and abundant from that practice. So really full, complete summary of the energy last week. And it's time now to get right into our week this week. So as you join today, let me know where you're joining in from. Let me know how you're feeling. And I am super excited to dive right into this week's energies. We got a lot to share. And we also have a full moon in Scorpio to prepare for this week. We'll be having that full moon on Sunday. So really important for us to feel into all the energies as we prep for that as well. All right, so the first spirit message that I received about this week's energy is all about renewal and rebirth. We've been talking about this for several weeks now, even all the way back in March. And this energy of renewal and rebirth is really strong, and it continues to forwardly flow into our experience where we kind of continue to rebirth, we continue to renew ourselves, and we're starting to recognize the path and the pattern and the cycle of our rebirth and the way in which we rebirth consistently. Because realistically, the more that you evolve in your spiritual consciousness and awareness of all things that we experience here on this planet, the more you become aware of how much we are constantly changing and how much everything around us is constantly changing. And so this energy of renewal and rebirth is one that is now letting us know to get comfortable with rebirth and renewal, to really start to find a flow with it, to start to appreciate the way you naturally rebirth, and also to find more ways to more smoothly experience that transformation. Okay, we had that metamorphosis card last week, and that was really prepping us for more of this energy. We've got that full moon in Scorpio at the end of the week, and Scorpios are just totally consumed in their lives by constant rebirth and renewal. And so this is something that Scorpios are masters of, and not all Scorpios. It takes them some time to become a master of it, because it's one of their biggest life lessons and one of their biggest skills to master, because it's what will make them, most successful. And so, this energy of rebirth and renewal, we also have to remember that it includes that energy of death first, right? You have to die before you can be reborn, and things have to die away from your life and kind of fade out of your experience in order for new things to come in. And so we need to get really used to this energy of renewal and rebirth, and even the death phase of that as well. And to start to relax more into it and find peace with it, and learn how we naturally go through that process so that we can fine tune the experience to something that's most comfortable and graceful for us. So do some journaling and reflecting on how you've felt rebirth in your life, and what that feels like for you, what that looks like for you, and what things you enjoy and can appreciate about that process, and what things that are harder. And look at the challenges as things that you can kind of learn to master, learn to overcome. These are challenges that are helping you become stronger, that are helping you sharpen skills that you need for the rest of your life to become most successful. These are things that are really, really necessary. So if you look at it from an appreciative standpoint and a grateful place of having that opportunity, then it can also be easier to move through that. Now, I also had a really great question from somebody on my Instagram, one of my Instagram fam, and I want to read it out loud, and I want to answer that as well with this first kind of message here. And this is from Sia Music, and she says, "Hey sister, I'd love to know if there's any collective energy since the start of 2021 that more people are suffering from physical disease in any kind of way. Since the start of the year, I experienced so many people having accidents, and myself experiencing kidney inflammation and really tense muscle, neck, shoulder pain, and headaches. I would be interested if there are any collective tendencies to this energy." Yes, so thank you so much, Sia, for your Sia Music, Sia_music on Instagram, for your question. I think this is such a good question. I actually have chills reading it again, and I got chills when I read it the first time, because this is definitely a powerful and important question to address, and I'm so grateful to receive it, because this energy of renewal and rebirth that I was just talking about is very much a part of what we're experiencing on this planet, as we see people, becoming more aware of their bodies and their physical health, whether that's positive physical health or negative physical health, or strong physical health, weaker physical health. And so this awareness of our bodies, this awareness of the way in which our physiological vessels are expressing the energy that we are translating all at once at all times, is incredibly important to be aware of, because the way that our body reacts is exactly how we are adapting to our experience. And if we are adapting to our experience in a way where that is lowering our vibration or weakening our immune system, or causing us to have certain chakras out of balance, that then eventually flows into energetic imbalances and physical imbalances, then we have to realize this is something that we're experiencing, and we're going to have to learn how to cope with. We're going to have to learn how to move through these things. And so what I was really getting from this in regards to our physiological bodies and the connection to the energy we're experiencing as a collective as 2021, is that this rebirth is happening. And a lot of people are experiencing physical symptoms of the energy that they're processing. And that's the first part. Okay, there's going to be several parts to this. Now, when they're feeling physical symptoms from the energy they're processing, this happens from collecting energy in one area over and over again and not processing it. And so that buildup of unprocessed energy or unbalancedly or disproportionately processed energy, or even just incomplete processed energy, that buildup causes eventually a blockage in our channels of energy, the meridians in our body, the nadis and the chakras. And that blockage over time starts to create an actual physical blockage of some kind of flow or, thing that our body needs to do, performance that our body needs to do for us at any given time, whether that's a kidney function, whether that's, something that our arms or neck needs to do for us. Our bodies start to develop the weaknesses that the energies are also weakened. And the energy starts first. And that's why it's so important for us as people on this planet to learn energy and to learn energy flow and to learn about how our energy interacts with others and how we can perfect our energy flow and enhance our energy flow, because everything is energy first before it ever becomes physical. And so, our desires, our dreams, our goals, we see this, we desire them up, we imagine them, we choose to want them and ask for them, and then eventually we start to follow the path to them, and they become real because we created it in our energetic field, and then it manifested. So the same thing happens with illness. And so rebirth is part of this energy. And so the illness is the body's way of releasing toxins. We know that, right? And we also know that illness is the body's way of also letting us know when there's something that's wrong, and that when we need to release toxins, or we need to have a rebalancing of something, or we need to, heal something that we haven't seen or haven't noticed all this time. And like I said, it usually starts with energy first. So, your body's trying to learn how to heal itself again after kind of having that natural ability to when we were born, right? When we were born, most of us, not all of us, but most of us had a body that started to naturally heal itself. Our umbilical cord wound would heal itself, right? Our ability to see would start to adapt. We'd be able to start to function and eat the food here and start to heal from any trauma of the womb and all of these things happening. Okay, so we have this natural body to heal, our ability to heal ourselves. But after we neglect checking in with our body over time, we tend to have those energetic buildups that we've totally not even noticed, that have become way more severe than we thought they would be, and then become physical. And so I've really found that in 2021, with these illnesses that are showing up and symptoms that are showing up in people, not COVID, we're not talking about COVID here, we're talking about the physical symptoms of change in the body and an activated awareness of more illness or imbalances in the body. And this is happening to show us the shadow work that we need to do for our body. With the kidney inflammation, recognizing what are you drinking, what are you eating, what is your body trying to filter that it's having a hard time filtering, right? And really paying attention to how you feel, how your kidneys feel, how your body feels after you eat certain things or drink certain things. This is something that your body is saying, hey, you've got to pay attention to this, because this is something that's now starting to become physical from an energy that has been built up over time. So what is filtration in a energetic standpoint? Filtration is the energy of kind of cleansing certain negative energies or toxic energies out of a system, out of an experience, and allowing new and fresh and pure energy to flow through, right? And so I also invite you, Sia, to ask yourself, and anybody else who's having any kind of physiological symptoms, to ask yourself, okay, when it comes to this symptom, my body needs this, right? My body's trying to do this, but it can't, right? So what's the energetic match to that? your energy field or your aura is trying to filter negative energy in your life, and it's having a hard time doing that. So also go back to the energetic source and say, okay, maybe, yeah, actually, I've been having a really hard time discerning if I should get rid of this community I've been plugging into that hasn't felt quite right, or get rid of this kind of, theology that I've been diving into that's kind of been leaving me in a weird energy. Oh, that must be this toxic energy that I keep putting in my body that I really keep intuitively feeling like is not good for me. I need to let that go. And when you do that and tend to the physiological symptoms, the physical symptoms you have, you're going to do the healing in a deep way. Okay. So to answer that question overall is that a lot of these symptoms and a lot of this increased illness and disease being dis-ease, a lack of ease in an experience or a lack of ease in the body. This disease expansion and amplification is our bodies trying to do the healing work that we need to do to make our bodies and our spirit and our mind align to the fullest potential of our good. And to also make sure that we cleanse our body of any shadowy or toxic patterns or cycles that it's been in energetically or physically that are causing disruptions in our energy flow. And all of this is so important because, and that's why, everybody in the world is doing this. And that's why even I think the pandemic is energetically so symbolic, is because this energy, we have to be strong. We have to be strong. We have to adapt to a new level of strength, a new level of resilience, and a new level of light energy in order to be able to withstand the next several years of change that we're all going to undergo. If you think about, evolution of animals and species, animals like lizards, right? They originally had less legs, right? And less strong legs and maybe not even tails, I think, but then they evolved and started become land walkers because they needed more access to food. And when that shifted, when that species started to level up in new skills, new muscles, new abilities, new limbs, new apparatuses for their being to be able to function in the highest good, when those species raised up, a lot of species, unfortunately, did not make that jump with all the others because their vibrations weren't capable of adapting to that new frequency and meeting that new level of energy and strength. And the only way we can assure ourselves of getting there is to keep checking in with our body, keep tuning our body to what our body needs and what it says that it needs, keep fueling our body in the right ways, rest, sleep, hydration, food. All of these things are important. Mindset, okay? I just did a video yesterday all about my perspective on the COVID vaccinations and all of those things. And I really encourage all of you to check that out because this really does pertain to a lot of that. And for more of my kind of intuitive and spiritual recommendations on how to handle this whole kind of chaos and pressure and confusion really on what to do for your own personal self, take the shot or not, right? I talk about that and what we can do as luminaries to make it most easy for us to decide. So check that out. It's on my OnlyFans and the link will be in the description of this video because that will definitely also help you in regards to some of these things as well. Yes, body has remained strong, Kevin. Good, healthy because you've been conscious of it for a long time. Yes, when we are conscious of our health for a long time, or when we consistently do the things that we know keep us healthy, and we consistently look for the things in our life that are not letting us be healthy, then we're constantly feeding that energy. And that's unfortunately why I feel so many people have died from COVID. I truly don't think that it was only the COVID that was killing people. I think there's a lot of people who are immune conscious or immune deficient or who were vibrationally, uncentered and imbalanced, or, just had an energy of not being able to adapt to what that virus was trying to do, or what the body was trying to do to fight the virus off. And so, we have to keep our body strong, our mind strong, our spirit strong, in order to keep surviving. And that's just how it's always been. So that's not news to us. All right, we have spent so much time on this, but it was really important. So let's go ahead and move on. I hope that answered your question, Sia. Thank you so much for your question. And everybody, please feel free to always post questions in these readings in the comments. I will read them and I will answer them. And if you've posted a comment and for some reason I haven't seen it, I apologize already, because I do have so many platforms. I'm constantly plugging in, and sometimes I do miss a few. But please feel free to repost that question and say, hey, Rissa, I posted this last week. Can you please answer this question? Or even email me. My contact info is in every single video that I post. So please reach out, because I love getting your questions and I love answering them publicly, because most of the time, other people's questions answer a lot of other people's questions, right? Your question could answer so many people's questions. So also don't be afraid to ask questions, okay? Because this is how we learn, this is how we grow, and this is how we connect deeper as a community, all right? And if I get enough questions, I'll start doing some Q&As and stuff like that, where we dedicate, a whole segment just to answering the questions from all of you. So let's do that. I would love to vibe in that way. All right, so recognize what your body needs and what shadow work is being revealed for you through that. And the next message is that our gifts are activating more. And this is actually a great segue from what we just talked about, because when we're in survival mode and when we're in a place of kind of evolving and as a species or just as ourselves, we start to, and especially when we have the challenges that call us forth to evolve, when we experience that, our gifts activate, because they have to, because they're our most innate survival skill. I've been saying it all 2021 and longer, okay? Your intuition, your intuitive gifts are your innate and best survival skill, okay? They're your natural and most efficient survival skills. So they are going to activate when you're in a survival mode, or when you feel like you're in a survival mode, okay? And sometimes spirit and our higher selves will put us in survival mode specifically so our certain gifts will be activated. And that's why it's so important to be appreciative of even the contrast, even the challenges in our life, because most of the time they are making us stronger. Actually, all of the time they're making us stronger if we allow them to, okay? If we take that higher road of saying, yes, this is going to be ultimately okay, right? So the next message is results of our asking is revealing some strife. Okay, we just talked a little bit about contrast. This is another great segue. Strife to overcome and earned the prize. Okay, so what this means is that we're being tested through strife right now to earn the prize of what we've been asking for. And these are tests that come into our experience to prove that we earn it, and to prove that we've learned our lesson from things that have kept us from what we want, and to prove that we're committed to keep making the changes and keep embodying the new experiences that represent the change and the overall receiving of what we want, okay? So any strife that you're experiencing, take a deeper look at it and notice, what is this strife testing me on? What is this strife calling me to do better at? What do I need to do to really not have this strife again? What are the things that I need to do, right? Because when you ask those questions and you ask them intuitively, you're going to get the messages, and then the strife isn't going to feel so much like strife. It's going to feel like a great experience that taught you something and that protected you from continued pain or continued failure, or continued frustration, okay? So look at strife and look at challenges differently, and really ask yourself also, what will it take? What will it take for us to be motivated enough to pass the test? Because a lot of people, they know that they're being tested, but they're comfortable where they're at. And even though they know they want what's on the other side of, passing that test, they don't do the work because they're not motivated enough. And when they're not motivated enough, guess what? Spirit will just keep giving us the test in more extreme ways until we're motivated enough, okay, to change it. So check in with, what is keeping you from being motivated enough to make the changes that you know you need to make, that you keep getting tested on by spirit, that you just don't change? And why aren't you changing those things? And do you really want to let spirit go all the way to your last straw, your most desperate experience to have, to force you, to put you in so much of a corner for you to actually change what you need to change? Or can you just say, you know what, I know it's going to go there, so before it even goes to the worst case scenario of what needs to happen to motivate me to change this, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to change it, right? That's how we get ahead of it, okay? That's how we, prevent those dark and deep dark nights of the soul, and those deep, really painful, traumatic wound healing experiences. And it's also how we keep ourselves out of more trouble, okay, in general, energetically and spiritually. So pay attention to that. We got to pass the tests. We got to pass the tests of how we're processing and responding to things. We have to respond and process things differently than we have been in order for us to experience things differently and to receive a different outcome, okay? Next message, more UFO and ET connections and disclosure on the way. I can feel it. Our galactic guides, our cosmic selves, our extraterrestrial families are on their way, and I feel this so strongly. Now, keep in mind, there are good and bad of everything, okay? There's good and bad people, there's good and bad dogs, there's good and bad everything, okay? There's good and bad ETs. So when I say the ETs are coming, all of the ETs are coming, not just our ETs, our peeps, it's also the other ones too. But guess what? We're stronger, our forces are stronger, and so is the light that we carry. So just pay attention to the way in which disclosure starts to become revealed. I know they had a Arizona flight, which I thought was just so hilarious. My guides made sure I learned this. A flight going to Arizona, I think it was last week, came in contact with a UFO, very close contact with a UFO. And so there's more of this coming, and we're going to keep seeing it. And we want to make sure that we're staying in a place of discernment, meaning checking in with our heart on what feels most true and what feels most good and what feels most magnetic for us to follow. And we'll see that there'll be certain extraterrestrial or artificial intelligence or high technology or higher intelligence energies starting to seep into our human experience and our community, our civilization. But some of that energy will not feel all the way pure and all the way divine. And so we want to pay attention to that, okay? And not invest too much in the ones that don't feel good, because when we invest anything, this includes Bitcoin and other things like that, when we invest anything in certain companies or certain energies that we know are linked to negative things, entities, we're investing in that. Even if that means we're going to get a bunch of money because the thing's going to change and everything's going to, blow up or whatever on the crypto, that money is kind of dirty, energetically, very energetically dirty. And do you want to be spending and receiving and working with and exchanging and energetically dirty money? Because you wouldn't do that with your regular life, right? Just regular dirty money. If somebody was like, hey, I got this money for killing somebody, here you go, here's $5,000, go spend it. Would you spend it? Would you feel good? No. So think about that stuff, okay? Think about it all the way through. And I promise you, no matter what abundance they're assuring you you'll have in investing in certain things, you'll get that abundance in other ways or in tenfold in other in the form that you want, if you keep following the path that is aligned to your light. All right. And I'm not saying don't invest in crypto. Okay. That's not what I'm saying. I have some crypto, I have some stuff, but pay attention to what crypto you're investing in. Do your research, see what they're tied to, see who they're tied to, see if that feels good, and don't buy it if it doesn't feel like something that you would get in bed with. Okay. Really important. Yes, sending love to everything, but protect yourself always. Galactic Family is here. Yes, Kevin, thank you. Hey, Candace, good to see you. Feeling the ET vibes this week as well. Awesome. Willpower is here. Hi. Kayla said, I read something that said, recalibrate to respond. I've been focusing responding with love towards the energies around me lately. It's been tough, but it's been so much growth. That is so beautiful, Kayla. Yeah, really beautiful way of phrasing that. Recalibrate to respond. Yeah. And so when you're experiencing a trigger, or when something happens that's chaotic or confusing or knocks you off your vibration, instead of leaning into it and surrendering to it, right? Stop, drop, and become present, right? And shift the energy. And, recalibrate, balance yourself, notice, find your center, right? And then move forward. Yeah, so good. Yeah, we learned that in the coaching program too. So powerful. All right, y'all, keep it up. I love these comments. Keep them coming. All right, so the next message is about Gaia. So we just talked about the cosmos and the heavens, our galactic families, our ETs, and now we're going to talk about Gaia, our Mother Earth, our foundation, okay? And Gaia is speaking to us too. And, we've got the ETs and cosmic selves speaking to us. I've been doing the Starseed Saturdays. They've been so powerful on OnlyFans. So make sure you all are tapping into those readings and meditations every Saturday. So great. And I am posting all my OnlyFans content, most of my OnlyFans content actually free right now. So it's free to subscribe, and it's also free to watch the content. So it's pretty much like an IG, but it's a different platform because I'm not censored on there or shadow banned or targeted for what I say. And so it's a way better platform for me to connect to you all in the most genuine and authentic way. But all of those posts are really free right now because I want to help get you all over there. And recognizing the benefit of that platform, because it really is a great platform. There's so much on there, not just my page. So definitely check out the Starseed stuff, okay? And take advantage of that, because they won't always be free, but at least for now you can tap in and really connect, because they will be free for a little bit. So don't hesitate to just go make that OnlyFans account. They're going to ask you for your card information, but they're not going to charge you at all. They only store your card information on there so that you can pay for other people's posts who charge for their posts or for their meditations or for their, cooking recipes and whatnot. There's tons of stuff on there, okay? But you only will get charged if you choose to get charged. So you don't have to worry about that stuff. So with that ET disclosure and energy, we now see that Gaia is also speaking to us on the other side of the spectrum from our roots. And she's speaking to us through nature symbolism and animal totems and just being aware and connected to the elements. And she's helping us to see exactly what we can learn from her to help us grow. And she's showing us the way. She's showing us the way to move through all these changes, because she's going through them too. And most of the time she's going through them first. Okay. So we got to pay attention to Mother Earth. We got to connect to nature. We have to make sure we're spending enough time outside, getting fresh air, breathing it in. This also strengthens our immune system. It helps us to be more resilient against allergies and things like that as well. And we just feel better. We just feel better when we're outside, at least some of the time. So make sure you're doing that, because Gaia is trying to speak to us. And if we're not outside, we're not going to hear her. Okay. And we want to get her messages because she knows so much about how we can move through these changes in a really beautiful way. Also, next message, our lessons learned are doing their job to improve our quality of life. So if you've been doing the work to learn the lessons that Spirit's been trying to scream and shout at you, if you've been passing the test that we talked about earlier, then you're going to start noticing that you are, just really activating things you've asked for. Your quality of life is getting better. Your abundance is expanding. Your confidence in yourself is growing. Your self-love and your connections to others is harmonious and beautiful. And you're feeling that, okay? And you're starting to see the things that you've asked for coming into view. So this is the benefit, this is the reward, this is the prize of passing those tests that we talked about. So notice if you are, which side you're on. If you're one of the people that are experiencing, the abundance and things falling into place, then this is your sign. You've been doing the work. Good job. You're earning the prize. Keep it up. Don't stop now. And if you're somebody who's like, man, I just don't see it yet. I'm really struggling still. I'm having the hardest time. That's your cue to do that shadow work. Pay attention. What are these lessons? What are these tests? How can you move through them, how can you be motivated to change in the ways that Spirit's trying to get you to change? And do that work, and you'll be on that other side, okay? That's all it takes. That's the only difference. Don't get caught up in comparing yourself to other people's success and things like that. First of all, you don't know what their success really looks like. Social media is a complete illusion most of the time. So, don't get wrapped up in that, but also recognize that, if they really are, on top of their game and living their life to the fullest, then, they've done the work, and they're just a reflection for you to see what it looks like when you do the work too, and what you can have if you do that. So use that as motivation, not as competition or comparison or discouragement. Okay. All right, let's talk a little bit more about global energy, okay? New waves of tension across the world are surfacing slowly. I can feel this. There's new energies coming up around a new COVID pandemic, a new strain of the virus. There's tension around the global market of economy and e-commerce. The cryptocurrencies and fiat currencies, all of that. Just a lot of changes and tension there, a lot of like really weird energies of like competitiveness, which is always there, but this one feels more like very secretive and very high power, like kind of it's a very weird energy. It's kind of like what is the reference they're trying to give me? It's kind of like a sludgy energy, and really, whenever they give me the sludgy energy, it's toxic. There's some toxic energy there, and it's thick, and it's hard to get through. It's hard to filter. It's hard to see what's really going to happen, because there's a lot of delusion and what's the word? I can't think of the word. Deception in that. So if you're into cryptos, if you're into the financial market and things like that, use your intuition and ask your spirit guides to help you filter out which cryptos or which energies that you need to see that are most in alignment to you and your highest good. But lots of tensions there, and that's going to let us know that we are still moving through the energy of rebalancing, okay? Rebalancing to respond. We just talked about that, but also rebalancing our energy. We talked about how important it is for this entire humanity to start to rebalance from all of the over masculinated greed, power, destruction, war, oppression, dominance, all of these things that we've been in for some time. We've been looping that energy for so long in our human history. And now we're rebalancing to move more into spirituality, move more into intuition, move more into mindfulness, move more into peace and serenity and harmony. And so with that shift of power, or shift of focus, comes a lot of shift of experience, and it can be kind of shitty instead of shifty, shitty, same thing pretty much sometimes. So yeah, we're also rebalancing, this is the economy, like I said, the socio-political energies, the race wars, the tension around that starting to surface again, just like last year. It almost feels, deliberate in a lot of ways as well. So pay attention to that. There's definitely some agendas from the powers that be that run the matrix that are also at play right now in all of those areas. So pay attention. And if you're all interested in me talking about these agendas or anything like that, that's really exciting for me. Please put it in the comments that you want me to talk about that stuff, and ask me questions. Tell me specifics about what you want to hear my perspective on, because I want to start sharing that stuff on my OnlyFans too, because that's the only place, honestly, that I feel I can share it. Even YouTube doesn't feel safe to share that kind of stuff on right now. So yeah, so definitely let me know if you're interested in that, because I would love to talk more about it. The last spiritual message before we move into astrology and finish us out for the day is, don't let anyone or anything take you out of your vibration, okay? Or lead you away from your intuition. This is super important. I talked a little bit about this on yesterday's post that I did on OnlyFans about the vaccinations and my take on it. There's so much pressure, there's so much judgment out there, there's so much energy around making a choice. Don't let anybody pressure you or force you to make a choice outside of your intuitive guidance or outside of your vibrational alignment. And watch my OnlyFans video for more guidance on that and how to really do that accurately and how to feel okay about that. Because it isn't easy, especially when the pressures are from work or family, or people, we really love and care about. But that internal pressure can be so strong too, right? From our spirit and our intuition. So it's a tough one to navigate, and I'm going to keep talking about that. So if there's specific things you're struggling with the pressures or the decision making or the frustrations around it all, please also post that as a comment in this video or email me if you want it to be private, because I would love to do another video to more deeply dive into this energy and to address all of your concerns and your experiences that you're having a hard time with. I want to address them specifically and really help all of you. And also I think it'll help everybody else, because I'm sure a lot of you will have similar experiences, or some that will eventually kind of trade places and have the same experiences as somebody else. So this is important. We got to be there for each other, and we got to really support each other. So anything you need on that, please comment in the comment section, and I will definitely make videos on all of it. All right, you all, so let's finish out with astrology. And today is the last day of Aries season. And how do you feel about that? Aries season was like passionate and sexy and like invigorated with that. But then it was also like tough and bold and a little abrasive and like, So how do you feel it being the last day of Aries season? Today, Aries sun is conjunct Mercury in Aries, which really reminds us not to overthink, and it allows us to settle down in our mind. It allows our mind to calm and settle and clear. So it does help our overthinking tendencies to be reduced. If you've been somebody that's been in your head a lot, today should feel a lot less like that. Then on the 23rd, Mars enters Cancer. Now this one I saw and I cringed. I'm not going to lie. I cringed on the Mars entering Cancer, because I have a Cancer moon, and Cancer energy, when you are, especially when it's your moon, is quite a doozy. And what I mean by that is your emotional body is so hypersensitive that everything gets under your skin, or everything you kind of assign a story to, whether it's good or bad. And it just kind of creates a very difficult energy to move through sometimes. So with Mars entering Cancer, that means that we really want to be careful about how we act and behave according to what we're sensitive to, or what triggers us, or what hurts our feelings. Because getting our feelings hurt, especially when you have a Cancer moon, is something that can sometimes cause you to act out of character, or do something you regret, or say something you regret, or just put yourself through emotional turmoil you don't need to put yourself through. So pay attention to how you're behaving in regards to your emotional body, and how you're responding through action to the emotions you have. So yeah, acting off a hypersensitive emotional body, just be careful of that. This may cause a bit of emotional chaos. So for you empaths out there, the next 6 weeks, this transit is going to be in effect, which means that you really want to pay attention to all the feels you're having, and also know that it's okay, and do your, protective mantras where you envision yourself in a, pyramid of light or bubble of light. You're protected, or you say the mantra, I release any energy that is not my own. I allow myself to observe other people's energy, but not absorb other people's energy. I am resilient to all energy I feel. I am always capable of controlling the energy I experience. Things like that can really help you through the next 6 weeks. All right, then the last thing to chat about today is the April 26th. Oh my gosh, it's April 26th. April 26th full moon in Scorpio, which is, did I do my reading wrong? Oh, it's on Monday. So I'm jumping a little ahead here, because I thought that the Scorpio full moon was technically on Sunday. And I always like to cover anything on Sunday, because we cover the full week and then we come back on Sunday. But technically this the Scorpio full moon is on Monday, the 26th, but I'm still going to give you the info. You're just going to get a little extra early Scorpio full moon prep. So for the Scorpio full moon, obviously I talked about the rebirth energy of the Scorpio. They have to become masters of it because they experience rebirth so much. And that is the central focus of this full moon. It is rebirth and transformation. And these are where deep issues, traumas, negative thoughts, toxic perspectives and assumptions, those kind of things are going to surface. Toxic behaviors, they're going to surface because they need to be seen. And what is this, y'all? Y'all know it. I feel like I shouldn't even have to say it by now because I say it all the time. This is shadow work, right? We said 2021 would be the year of shadow work, and full moon in Scorpio is helping us to dive deeper into shadow work so we don't forget that is a theme throughout the entire year. So look at the stuff that you don't want to look at this week that feels, hard to see about yourself. Notice the behaviors that you really wish you didn't do or wish you didn't, continually experience, and know that it's time for you to change those things and really do the work to see what you need to do to change it. The mantra for this is heal, don't avoid. So heal, don't avoid your wounds on the full moon in Scorpio on Monday. And Pluto goes retrograde the next day in Capricorn. So that's going to be a lot of help for reviewing our lessons that we've learned, as well, to help integrate further transformation this year with that Scorpio full moon. So lots of interesting influences this week. So yeah, are you ready? Are you ready for this week? I think it's going to be a little bit of a doozy, y'all, but it's going to be okay. We're going to get through it. That's why we get on these readings every week, so that we can make sure we have all the information we need, so that we can prep and just be mentally prepared, emotionally prepared, and energetically prepared for all that we experience. So of course, like I always do, we'll pull our weekly cards to sum everything up. A couple of announcements and reminders. Not only can you see the video that I did about the COVID vaccine on my OnlyFans, and you can also see my Starseed Saturdays every week, I also have recently started to unveil my new album. And I recently, last week, did a full video all about my new album. I did some big reveals. I revealed the album title. I revealed the album release date. And I also revealed the first event that I'm hosting in honor of the album. So these are some pretty big reveals that you do not want to miss. And I'm not going to reveal these for a little while, I think, on public platforms. I really, really want to keep revealing them on OnlyFans, because me and OnlyFans have a little plan for the album release together. So definitely jump over to my OnlyFans, because there's going to be a lot going down on there in regards to my album. I already have that one video up, and I also shared some of the music on the album. I shared some of the stories behind my creative flow from Spirit Junkie to this new album, and a lot of other hidden gems about Spirit Junkie, which I'll continue to unveil. I'm actually even going to do a little video, most likely tomorrow or the next day, all about my last video I released, my last music video I released, Separate. If you all remember that, it was exactly a year ago tomorrow. And if you haven't seen it, you've got to see it. Because I'm in my tigress, sensual, sexy energy. And I'm shaking my ass all through my apartment. It was a quarantine style vibe. Okay, so definitely check that video out, but we'll be rewatching it together on my OnlyFans, and I'll be talking about not only the creation of the video and the song, but also some tea, some drama, some deep drama that happened around that song last year. So you're going to want to hear that, because I wasn't ready to talk about it last year because it was still fresh, but now I'm ready to talk about it. And what better place than my virtual diary on OnlyFans? So make sure to click the link for that. All right, y'all, those are all my announcements this week. I also just want to shout out to all of my clients, my coaching clients, my little spirit babies is what I call them. I have a brand new group of spirit babies that I'm mentoring and coaching. They are all signed up and officiated in our 2021 Intuitive Luminary one-on-one and group coaching experience. And so if you are interested in coaching and you didn't get a chance to make it into this group, that is okay. There will be spots for you next year. But for those of you who are in my group, shout out to all of you. I'm so proud of all of you for investing in yourself and saying, yes, we're going to have an epic year. And I just wanted to give a little shout out to all of my peoples. All right. So first card of the week to move us through. And I think this is so interesting because we literally have the past life cards coming up. I think it came up like 2 weeks ago. So past lives coming up again with a different deck. So Spirit wants us to dive into our past lives. And these are the powers that we've had in our past lives that are so, so, so incredibly important for our success in this life. So recognizing if you've had memories or visions about past lives, or if you've had an inkling that you had a past life in a certain time or area, or that you had a past life doing a specific skill or talent, start to meditate on that or journal about that. See if you can ask your spirit to start unveiling more information just by asking the questions within yourself, and see what comes up from that, because past lives are important to remember right now. And if you have a hard time, for some reason, tapping into your past lives, you can always get a past life reading from me. I'm always here for you for that. I'm always going to keep doing readings as long as I can, at least. This is something that is important. So I always say, try it yourself first. And if you can't, come to me, because, when you have the memories yourself and when you activate your gift to recover those memories, it can be such a great experience. So I really love, when people can have that experience. But this is also why I have the coaching programs for those of you who've been trying to have those kind of experiences, but just haven't found a way to activate your gifts deeper. The coaching is for you. And so make sure, if you are interested in the coaching for next year, I can put you on a list and I can keep you updated throughout the year on reminders of when the next coaching program will open for next year. Definitely let me know, because I'll also give you first come, first serve in the spots available for the coaching next year as well, if you get on that list. So, and that'll give you time to save for the program and get ready for, all the magic that you want to have in that experience. All right. So past lives for the beginning of the week. Middle of the week, cleansing. So what this card is letting us know is that our past lives may be coming up as well for some cleansing work. We may end up having a past life where we remember a very difficult experience or a very traumatic experience that we need to cleanse and heal from, that we need to rebalance our soul over. And so this is important. And we also recognize that this could mean that a past life memory will also help you cleanse you in your life of any challenges or any things that you've been wanting to let go of. And in general, it's just about releasing, right? And what do we have to do to renew and rebirth? We have to release, we have to let go, we have to die, we have to let those things that we don't want die away. And that is important as well for cleansing. So whatever it is that resonates for you with this card, and I don't know why it won't, I hate when it doesn't autofocus. It's so great. I don't know how to fix it. There we go. But yeah, if there's anything that you need to let go of, this is the time to do it. And feel free to let me know if you need an energy cleanse. I also do energy cleanses with Reiki balancing, and I'll give you messages throughout that on what I pick up on from what we're cleansing. So if you're interested in energy cleanse, you can also do that. Just follow the link in the description. And the end card today, just to finish out with the last day of Aries season, we have inspired passion, to remind us all that we experienced in Aries season and to take with us from Aries season our most inspired passions. That was what we really received most from Aries season, was recognizing what we were most passionate about, recognizing the passions that we had forgotten about that we needed to recover and reconnect with, and starting to recognize what we need to do to follow the path of our passions for our purpose. And so that is what we're ending this week with as a honoring close to Aries season and as a prep to the next energy. So we're really ready. We're ready for all that we're ready to accomplish and experience. We're ready to make our passions our purpose. We're ready to step into our prosperity. We're ready to manifest all our greatness, but we've got to follow our inspired passion to do it. And it says, life devoid of passion can be a boring, uninspired, blank canvas that slowly drains the soul. Now is a time to reignite your passions and rejoin life. This is an opportunity to set new goals, which will in turn reconnect you with all that is sacred. Okay, all that is sacred is in your passions and inspired passions. Okay, past lives, cleansing, inspired passions for the week. That's how you're going to navigate with grace. If you want a quick and easy reminder of all of these messages and all of these energies, I will be posting a mini reading Monday tomorrow on my OnlyFans. For those of you who just can't sit through the whole reading, or for those of you who like to check back but want a quick and easy kind of way of hearing all the messages, in under 8 minutes, 10 minutes. So I do that for you because it can be really nice to come back to the reading. But I realize when you come back to these readings, you got to sift through all that I said and find it. So I make it really easy for you on OnlyFans by concising it all down to just some quick bullet point direct tips for your week. So take advantage of that. Go ahead and subscribe to my OnlyFans. It's completely free, and I've got lots to come on there. I also just posted another video about my story series where I'm talking about how bullying in my middle school years actually activated a lot of my cosmic consciousness and starseed awareness. So I talked about that. Before that, on that series, I talked about the first time I saw angels. So that's just to tell you, there's so much content on OnlyFans y'all are missing out on. Why aren't you over there? Why aren't you over there yet? Go get over there right now after you watch this reading. I'll see you there. Peace. Love you.